Let's talk about why anxiety medications or other psychiatric medications are not the answer to relationship anxiety or the post breakup blues, and why I personally would never recommend them to a patient or client that is going through a breakup. My name is Dr. Lilli. I'm a licensed naturopathic doctor with a focus on mental health here in Arizona. I healed my own relationship anxiety, and now I'm here to help you heal yours. I'm going to explain the problem with psychiatric medications and holistic alternatives. Now, before we get started, I do want to mention that while I am a doctor, I'm probably not your doctor. So none of this is medical advice. This is for educational purposes only. Now let's get into the video. So the problem with using psych meds for relationship anxiety or post-breakup anxiety, post-breakup depression, is that the reason for the anxiety and the reason for the depression is not from a chemical imbalance. The theory of a chemical imbalance has actually been debunked in recent research. So even if you were to have long-term generalized anxiety or major depressive disorder, it's actually not because of a simple neurotransmitter malfunction or a chemical imbalance. But let's focus on anxiety and depression post-breakup, or anxiety that's experienced in a relationship. The problem with using psychiatric medications that affect the neurotransmitters is that they can then create further imbalance in the body. This is why there are so many side effects that are associated with psychiatric medications. One of the most notable side effects being decrease in libido, erectile dysfunction, and GI concerns. The reason for these side effects or adverse effects, effects that we don't desire or intend, is because this is how the body works. The medication that you are taking orally has to go through your entire system, and you have neurotransmitters all over your body. So it's not just going to affect your brain and your mood, it's going to affect the system as a whole. So when you start a medication, you have to deal with the side effects. Oftentimes, another medication is prescribed in order to mask or handle those side effects. And oftentimes after that, another medication is needed until you're on 10 or 20 medications. I've actually seen this in patients, and I'm sure you know someone who's experienced this as well, maybe even yourself. Nobody wants to be on that many medications, especially when the medication is just masking symptoms and not treating the root cause. In addition, people often need to increase the dosage of their psychiatric medication because the effects wear off. This is because the body builds tolerance. For example, if you are in a room and there's a candle lit, you're going to immediately smell the scent of the candle as soon as you enter the room. However, once you're in the room for a while, you're going to stop smelling the candle because you become nose blind to it or you gain tolerance to the smell. Same goes for ingesting a substance like alcohol. If you haven't drank for a while or ever, you're going to feel the effects of alcohol rather quickly or within 1 or 2 drinks. If you've been drinking for a while on a consistent basis, it's going to take you more time or more drinks to feel the same effects of the alcohol. This is because your body builds tolerance. And again, that tells us that this isn't truly treating the condition or treating the symptom. You're not born with a deficiency of Prozac. You're not born with a deficiency of Lexapro or a deficiency of a benzodiazepine. What really needs to happen is the body needs to rebalance to its state of homeostasis. The problem is that psychiatric medications also destabilize the body from its place of homeostasis. For example, SSRIs work on the serotonin system or the serotonin pathway in the nervous system. That's why they're called SSRIs. They're selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. They only affect serotonin. However, when you're working on one pathway, let's say we have a couple of scales. If we're increasing the serotonin side, it also affects the dopamine side. So we're also depleting the dopamine side as we're working on the serotonin side. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but it is important that you're aware of what's happening in your body or what could happen in your body if you're taking these medications. Also consider that the time it takes for you to actually experience the effects of the medication tends to be around 4 to 6 weeks, which is a decent amount of time, and so much can be done in that time to actually heal yourself and feel better without needing a medication that is then going to make you more imbalanced. My clients see positive benefits from our work together without medication within 4 weeks. Oftentimes even less than that, but 4, especially by 6 weeks, they're going to notice significant positive benefits. The other problem with psychiatric medications is that they deplete vital nutrients in the body. They deplete B vitamins, magnesium, and zinc. This is because those vitamins get used up trying to make more of one thing and thus causing depletion of another. One of the clinical shifts I did back in medical school was with a doctor who focused primarily on addiction to alcohol, substances, as well as mental illness. And he had a very specific protocol that he used with many supplements to actually help rebalance and replenish the neurotransmitter pathways. But is that the only thing necessary for healing? Definitely not. He saw really great results with his patients, but that definitely wasn't the only part of his protocol. The most significant part about trying to use a pill or medication to feel better is that it doesn't actually heal the root cause. It leaves you in a disempowered state of trying to get a quick fix of believing that you're broken and you need something outside of yourself to heal you. Now, if medication works great for you, you will have no problems with it, you're feeling amazing, and you want to be on a medication for potentially the rest of your life, that is great for you. I'm happy that it works for you, but for most people, that is not the case, and a lot of people want to heal without medication. The clients I work with are so empowered and dedicated to their growth and healing that they see amazing results just on their own, and that grows their sense of self-worth. It helps them heal, it helps them develop as a human, and they also gain the skills to actually create a healthy relationship not only with somebody else, but also with themselves, which is the most important thing in the entire world. And I am so proud of all of my clients who have done the amazing work with me. Taking a pill is not going to fix your mindset. It's not going to fix the limiting beliefs, the core wounds that you have that are making you anxious in a relationship, which means that those anxious feelings and behaviors are still going to continue. They might improve a little bit if you can't feel as much, but they're still there. And that means that your relationship with yourself and with others is not going to be as fulfilling or as deep as it potentially could be. The other thing that medication doesn't do is it doesn't teach you safety. It doesn't help you learn how to be safe in your body. It doesn't teach you how to build emotional resilience. It doesn't help you see how powerful you are as a human being. Medication is the quick fix, or really the quick mask. It may work for a little bit, but won't work forever. I can't even begin to tell you how empowered you feel when you actually put healing into your own hands. With that said, there are things that can help you on the healing process that can make it easier, potentially more effective for you. If you feel like you really need something to help supplement this process for you, here are some more holistic alternative options for you. Again, I want to caveat that the clients I work with often don't need any of this stuff, but these things can still be helpful, and best of all, they're natural. They often have no side effects or very little side effects, and they help to truly balance the body rather than create more imbalance. The first modality that I want to talk about is homeopathy. Homeopathy is a very individualized type of modality. The way that one person experiences anxiety or depression is very different, or could be very different, than the way another person experiences anxiety or depression. One person's experience of depression could be that they can't get out of bed, they can't do anything. Another person could have very high functioning depression and they have a lot of repressed anger. One person may feel very anxious being alone. One person may feel very anxious and want to be alone. Because of these innate differences, the remedy that works best for a person is based off of how their symptoms show up specifically for them. So 2 people with anxiety could have 2 different remedies. If you want to learn more about homeopathy, comment remedy down below and I'll make a video specifically on that. And if you have any questions about it, definitely leave them down below as well. What I think is so fascinating about homeopathy is that there are actually some specific remedies that are great for the effects of losing a loved one, whether that's through a breakup, divorce, or passing away. Oftentimes people respond in some characteristic ways after losing somebody. And so there are some remedies that can be so helpful for this experience. Homeopathy is very safe and can be highly effective when the right remedy is chosen. It's so safe that it can be used in pregnant women, infants, and even pets. I find it truly amazing that there are some remedies specific to the loss of a loved one. When I was in medical school, I saw many patients whose symptoms started after losing a loved one, whether that was a breakup or a divorce or death. It just shows how connected the mind, body, and spirit really is. And oftentimes our physical symptoms are really just a manifestation of our mental emotional state and the state of our nervous system. That is what I specialize in, so if you want to learn more about that, comment nervous system down below. I also want to share a few herbal remedies, some supplements, and some lifestyle things that can be great for anxiety and depression as well. So 3 botanical remedies that are really great for anxiety and depression include lemon balm, skullcap, and chamomile. All of these are very soothing to the nervous system. Lemon balm is also helpful for ADHD, and chamomile is also great for sleep. You've probably had some sleepy time tea before. Skullcap can be really good if there's a lot of tension in the muscles as well. A few supplements that can be helpful for anxiety and depression include L-theanine. L-theanine is one that I would not use for depression because it helps the mind relax. L-theanine is the precursor to GABA, which is the inhibitory or calming neurotransmitter. So with more L-theanine, we'll get more GABA and we'll be in a more relaxed state. It's a natural amino acid that's already found in the body, but you can also supplement it. Vitamin D is great for many different processes in the body. A lot of people, or most people, are deficient in vitamin D. Deficiencies of vitamin D can contribute to depression and fatigue. Magnesium is another great mineral that can be used for anxiety. Magnesium is used in many different biochemical processes in the body. If you're deficient in magnesium, it more commonly shows up as anxiety, but it can also definitely still show up as depression because it's needed in the making of the neurotransmitters that keep you feeling good. Magnesium glycinate is usually the go-to for anxiety or insomnia. As far as lifestyle, movement, whether that's going to the gym, playing soccer, or dancing, any sort of movement is so good for the body. It releases those endorphins, it builds muscle, it increases BDNF, and it helps process and move through stuck emotions. Oftentimes after a breakup, you might have a lack of appetite. You might even have a lack of appetite if you're super anxious within the relationship as well. It's very important that you're eating good, nutritious food. And if you have a lack of appetite, focus on those nutrient-dense foods. Focus on your dark leafy greens. Focus on your antioxidants, getting in protein. If you can at least get in the basics, you'll be feeling better than if you're eating crappy processed junk food or eating food that doesn't have a lot of nutrition. And lastly, of course, if you have anxiety, avoiding caffeine is going to help you feel better because caffeine stimulates the nervous system. It stimulates the mind and body, and that can produce symptoms similar to anxiety. So you might even feel like you have anxiety when really it's just your reaction to the level of caffeine that you're taking. It stopped recording and I don't know when it stopped recording, so sorry about that. At least we have the audio. And lastly, and most importantly, community and connection. That is so vital and so healing. Whether you're anxious within the relationship, experiencing heartbreak and depression after a relationship, having healthy, good, high quality, deep, authentic, and real connections is so supportive for your own happiness and your long-term health. Knowing that you're supported, knowing that there are people you can lean on, and also giving back to others helps us feel better. Never underestimate the power of community and connection. That covers everything I have today. If you'd like more one-on-one guided support, apply for coaching. The link is down below. I would absolutely love to help you through the anxiety and the heartbreak. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Subscribe if you want more videos on healthy relationship advice and how to heal from toxic relationships. And with that, I'll see you next time.